Hello everybody and welcome to a new series and a new attempt at a playthrough of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. I'm going to be playing a new run today and kind of trying to take a stab at this game proper because I did not give this game a fair shake, and now that the new DLC is out, I can kind of give this game the proper credits it deserves. So today we are going to be doing a new playthrough. I've set everything up as far as what I'm doing. I will be playing I have a Forge World background, Commisar. We had Illustrious Glory as our great feat, with Grim Importance as our kind of awful background. And our ship's name is and our ship shall be named the Ultimatum, because we are giving no fucks. Let's begin the adventures of Orno Roth. Orno Roth is our character's name for this playthrough. Orno Roth von Valancius. Or, as he would commonly be referred to, Commisar Roth. Yeah, I wanted to do this playthrough, instead because I didn't get the chance to properly get this game done on my own. I have not played this game on my own yet, and I want to give this game a fair shake. I also wanted to skip over the character creation, because for most people who've seen this game, you've already seen it. For those who haven't, you're not missing much, and I would have been here a lot longer, and I don't want to bog everybody down with that. But I wanted to at least show everybody the final product as we go into the game proper. I also did this game last time, and I believe I was a sanctioned psyker when I did it. I'm not a fan of the psykers. I'll say it now. I'm not a fan of psykers in this game. Or at least I'm not a fan of playing them. Which is funny because I like playing, like, casters in usual RPGs. Your prototypical RPG or JRPG or whatever, I love playing casters. Play a sorcerer, I'll play a wizard, I'll play them freaking whatever. But this instance was one of those rare ones where I'm like, no, not really. Also, this game runs so freaking clean. This runs better than it did even on my Xbox. This is awesome.
An excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
So, let's see here. Yeah, we have been being introduced here to Conrad Voigtver here. So less ostentatious luxury, this laughable pretense was enough to make one think that the architects meant to compensate rather than glorify. Nah, we're not trying to shame the God Emperor here. You've been in his service for many a year, so we're going to instead do so we're gonna do this one. At least such excess can be tiring at times.
There are those among us who share that sentiment. But such is our duty, is it not? To overcome base weaknesses and desires, so as to excel in our service to the God Emperor, the master of humanity. Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voigtver, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valancius, at your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
Divisional Commissar of the Officio Prefectus, Orno Roth of
My
Zenithal.
regards, Commisar. Finding you was a difficult task given your parents' fate. and your upbringing in the Schola Progenium. Truly, our meeting is an act of providence, is
Yes.
it not?
Yeah. Vision of the Schola Progenium. I do like I could just drop this and like hover over these, and it gives the indicator of like this is what this was. Vision of the ecclesiarchy responsible for the upbringing, education, and training of orphans of those officers and nobles who have died in the service of the Imperium.
I will be frank with you. You may forget your past titles, no matter who gave them to you, or what their origins are. From the moment you and the other candidate were brought aboard this void ship, your fate changed. You now serve Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius, and carry the burden of an heir of this house. Henceforth, you share your dynastic name with her ladyship. Bear it with honor.
You say I am one of the rogue trader's heirs, so there's another candidate?
And you will meet him soon enough.
You have a curious title, Master of Whispers. What are your responsibilities?
Plainly, I am the head of the network of spies and informers who serve the interests of House von Valancius. I uncover weak links both among Lady Theodora's retinue and in the ranks of her rivals. I eliminate our vulnerabilities and exploit those of others.
Tell me about the one on whose ship I have found
I
myself.
would rather not discuss the Lord Captain behind her back. Especially not on board her ship. No one knows better than I that whispers are wont to attract particularly close attention. Suffice it to say that her ladyship is the bearer of the sacred warrant of trade and a woman of immense power and entitlement. However privileged your position may be, I ask that you do not incur her anger by being disrespectful or obtuse. Lady Theodora despises both qualities.
Why am I aboard this vessel? I have a Lord Captain, a strange title for the Lady Theodora.
Such are the traditions of the Imperium. Lord Captain is the title that was established in the annals of the Lex Imperialis. At the time
Imperium
when the
laws.
first rogue traders entered the Gold Emperor's service. And therefore, it is sacrosanct.
So I assumed you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. The Lord Captain and Master Ethelthrad von Valancius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
Alright.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Now we can move around. Then, of course, we have the introductions. I'm gonna close this out, because I know pretty much how everything works here. Conference table, obviously crafted from real wood, a source of incredible value here. The data on the bid screen. Certain mechanism has been interfered with due irreverence. Duration of the data processing cycle has tripled. Incomprehensible information is displayed on a large screen above the cogitators. You can make out references to unfamiliar systems and worlds among the numbers and logisticar symbols.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
A Kindle altar with a copy of the 2348th volume of the Lex Imperialis, the Codex of the Sacred Laws of the Imperium. Got an autosave point here.
One of the von Valancius trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
Perhaps I shall. Familiar sights of the tarantulas and the Lehman Russ.
What's happening?
Your servitors. Yes.
Run! The servitors have gone berserk!
Well, see, now that's just unfortunate now, isn't it? Good equipment put to waste.
Your demise is already calculated.
Oh yeah, he's dead. He's also dead. The next action cost my phone.
It's as good as done.
This is why I like the soldier background, by the way. Because I get to have the run and gun ability.
I am ready for whatever comes. On it. I'll make it happen.
Alright, well. That's pretty much all I've got. He missed. He missed too. And he's dead.
I'll see to it personally.
Well, we can do our run and gun again, so
Taking
just
calculated
gonna
risk
take
is
that
my second
path
nature.
around him. And
I'll make it happen.
app.
Who if not me?
Are you kidding me? Right, funny that he is just sitting there. Oh, now you kill him. Now you get him.
What suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan.
Spread out. No one is allowed to enter the premises.
I'm
Stations.
afraid I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
Fine by me.
Let us not dawdle.
Fires in the server's head are still smoldering. What seemed the cause of this malfunction was the short-circuiting of the motive force. Rachel Century gun. Constructed with the blessing of the Adeptus Mechanicus using a standard template construct in the manufactorums of Yava Gamma. Lehman Russ battle tank, reclaimed and restored by the grace of the God Emperor, the first to breach the capital walls during the pacification of Vortis Kathan. See all of these ones? What is this? Violet alloy, which upon closer examination turns out to be a handcrafted object. Symbols carved with a primitive tool visible on the surface.
Have a backup plan.
A black shard resembling obsidian. If you look closely, you can discern a strange, barely perceptible glow inside the artifact. A massive golden amalgam interspersed with sparkling particles. Stone on the pedestal is no doubt solid, but its surface shimmers and changes hue as if someone has captured a piece of turbulent sea within the rock. A strange object that resembles sea coral. The porous surface is pitted, a sign that it has been underwater. A green crystal with white veins. A low hum can be heard coming from the artifact.
Keep your wits about you.
This exhibit is unfinished. Another symbol of House von Valancius' valor will be displayed here at some point in the future. Okay. Well, that's everything I needed here.
That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide. Practically an admission of heresy.
Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation. No worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Ion 6, Edelthrad?
Ready the room. Your first impression of Edelthrad, who appears to be about 30 years old, is a parchment-like skin stretched parchment-like skin stretched over a tightly bundled mass of sinew, implants, and bone. The nervously twitching fingers, the face twisted by a slight tic, and the jerking movements are all signs of some illness or defect that has taken over his physical form. In stark contrast to Edelthrad, Theodora von Valancius' features appear as if they were carved from marble, eternal and indestructible. Head raised high, proud posture, hands clasped casually behind her back. Everything seems to emphasize the difference in status between her and Edelthrad. Next to the two of them, you see two more men. One is a gray-haired officer of impeccable bearing who is studying the contents of his data slate. Basically like a data pad. The other is a behemoth bristling with holsters and baldricks containing all manner of weapons.
Our second candidate has joined us. Approach and give me your answer. Consider this hypothetical situation. Ion 6. A new world on the fringes of the koronus expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. The mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure?
Those spirits could well be the natives named for dangerous aliens. Yeah, I would like to. There are ways to confirm whether what is happening on Ion 6 is witchcraft or not. It might cost several psychers to do so, but it will give us the answer.
Thorough, but presumptuous. It took me a great deal to find one psyker who could serve me well for many years. Yet you speak of several.
Sanctioned psychers are rare and valuable instruments of the Golden Throne. Or do you suggest that we use heretics, who are an offense to the God Emperor's light? It would be rather careless of you to utter such profanity in the presence of his faithful servants.
I gave a straight answer to a simple question, which, as I understand, was still more than you could do, Edelthrad.
Insolent, ignorant upstart. How dare you?
Edelthrad, I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me then why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officer's deck, instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview.
I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I well forgot the time.
Yeah, peace out then.
So, why are you here? You have ceded the opening that was offered to you in a woeful display of meekness. Admittedly, this tendency is equally strong in all who toil in the Emperor's service. Immutable hierarchy, absolute obedience, lickspittlery, compulsion to please. I value none of these things. From the moment my envoys came for you, the terms of your existence changed. My name is Theodora von Valancius Massimo of Scaris. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity. And my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic. The warrant of trade, kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness, beyond the Imperium, and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign, and bow death and ruin to us all. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon, resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you are one of those with von Valancius blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes.
One of? Does this mean there are other heirs?
Naturally. Some have yet to arrive on board, but you have had the pleasure of meeting one of them. Edelthrad may be somewhat disconcerted by the scale of the responsibilities that may potentially fall upon his shoulders. However, I have a good feeling about him as a candidate. Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Kunrad Voitvir served me for many years before he made his mistake.
Did I hear you correctly?
His kinship to me is most distant, as is yours. Nonetheless, he does bear the name von Valancius, even if he avoids using it publicly, and as such, strictly speaking, can be considered my heir. That door, however, is closed to him. Voitvir's performance in his current role is satisfactory. Or it used to be, at least.
You are satisfied with Edelthrad, then what sense is there in having this conversation? Why are you wasting your time on me?
Impatience. I am rather fond of impatient people. They are not as quick to resign themselves to circumstance and more eager to show initiative. Even if I do choose Edelthrad as my successor, I will still require loyal advisors. The skills and knowledge you acquired in your former life may prove invaluable here, in the Koronus expanse. Once, you were a Commissar of the Imperial Guard, a political officer who was not afraid to face his own death or to send his underlings to theirs. Resolve, faith, implacability. All of it gives one a unique perspective when presented with a situation where a less steadfast individual could falter. Trust me, your future holds plenty of situations where your commitment to your duty, or your house's interests, will be one of your strengths. Moreover, even changing your family name will not rid you of the fame you previously garnered. I hope it will also help you bring glory to the valancius dynasty, to which you now belong.
Hmm. Thank you for clarifying. I asked some questions of my own.
I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the void ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge.
Navigator, translation. What are these things that you speak of?
Sometimes I forget that people without direct access to a ship's bridge may not know the first thing about how a void ship travels between the stars.
Nope. That is very true.
Vessels such as this one are capable of leaving real space and traversing into the warp, an otherworldly dimension of cruel and unthinkable forces. By entering it under the protection of the Gellerfield, we shorten the route to our destination, crossing distances that would require hundreds of years in a matter of weeks instead, sometimes in days or even hours. That is how humanity spread across the galaxy. That is how we were able to build the Imperium, which spans millions of stars.
Where is your ship headed?
The Rykad system, the domain of rogue trader Winterscale, one of my peers and rivals. Besides me, 2 other rogue traders exist in the Koronus expanse, and each of them possesses resources comparable to mine. Perhaps you will one day assist House von Valancius in surpassing both of them in affluence and splendor. I set the course for Rykad on the demand for a very specific reason. Perhaps I shall yet apprise you of the purpose for this voyage, but now is not the time.
So then what are my current responsibilities?
Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Edelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide.
Well, it's certainly better than what I had before. Certainly going to be different than serving boots to the ground. I must inform you that an incident took place on the officer's deck. Some servitors went berserk and attacked the crew.
So? Perhaps the technomats were careless during maintenance. Or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Gellerfield. Or perhaps there is something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all.
Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff.
Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. This ship is thousands of years old. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folks speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live.
Well, I have no more questions then.
In that case, I shall head to... Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated.
I don't remember them having voices when I first played through this game. I don't think they updated some of these cinematics since I've last played.
Challenges make the spoils that much sweeter.
All of you will bleed! Don't touch me!
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. Reduced to dust!
Murdered.
Stay vigilant.
Melt a gun.
Heretics. Death to the weak.
See, I'm surprised that I only get like a freaking I'm surprised we only get like an auto pistol as our... It's not even an auto pistol, it's a stub revolver.
It's as good as done. On it. I'll make it happen. Your end was inevitable. I'll see to it first. Another enemy down.
Yeah, we're gonna start cutting through them here. Get the better guns, like, when we get some of the better weapons later, we'll hopefully be able to do something there. Oh, she got a plasma gun. I forgot she had a plasma gun. Please.
Inevitable.
Here we go. As all of them.
Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single whoreson survive. Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck, huh? Not bad. I have seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them that much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel.
We are a commissar. We have stood in the mush with our brother's blood, our comrades, and our lesser's blood. We are tried, true, and tested. What are your orders?
Mort has gone on ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the arch-militant requires aid. And be quick about it.
Is there money to be made?
Heretic provides drill with holes and improvised single shot gun lies smoking in his hand.
Thank Providence you are alive and well.
Always on time, eh, Coonrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it.
Mort, hold yourself together.
What, did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We're all done here. I'll report right away.
Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent. The Voxmaster is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report!
I have not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Gellerfield failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only voxcasts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. That the madmen have already reached the officer's deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny.
Mutiny against the Emperor's anointed. Execute the traitors. Every last one of them.
First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure. And I have the means to do both things at once.
Edelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed.
A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons.
I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements intelligence is that he arrived on transitional deck 18.
Blast it! Master of Whispers, find Edelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Tlas and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Arch-militant, with me. I must go to my study. And it appears we might encounter heretics along the way.
If I may, Lord Captain. Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the House as the esteemed Arch-Militant, and taking into consideration Edelthrad's psychic powers.
Then it's settled. Find Edelthrad and bring him here. In whatever state you find him. This elevator leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand?
I hear and obey, Lord Captain.
Move out! Mort, come.
Off they go.
Are you ready to head to 18? It is a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear.
You had better not fail me. Lord Captain made it clear that relying on you is fraught with risk.
I see you have quickly earned Lady Theodora's trust. If she is already sharing her closely guarded secrets with you. But that is no longer relevant.
Promise you a special destiny, Orno Roth. It is time to fulfill it. Well, that was certainly a situation we found ourselves in. Well, we'll see what comes next, I guess. Ow.
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warren Chamber. And for that, I need him breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see. Delightful.
Wait for you two-faced scum. You are the one behind this mayhem.
How perceptive of you. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself. We are in the anteroom of the Warren Chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred Warrant of Trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
What is it, inbred? Your blood too thin for the Sentinel?
On the contrary, the Warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, fond Valancius. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
What sorry, pathetic excuse do you even have for your apostasy, you sordid, wretched piece of grok shit?
What do you know about wretchedness? Theodora's cur. Are you hoping to buy a grain of her indulgence with your blind loyalty? Oh, I know this delusion. But thank the gods it no longer has power over me. Humanity can rot. I no longer serve, mortal kind. Once my work is done, I'll make that pompous wench von Valancius watch as I sacrifice her entire dynasty and commit their fate to the gods. And you will be the instrument by which I will accomplish this righteous act.
Get out! Gateway arch. You see a cogitator with a human likeness built into the front panel. As you approach, the torso twitches slightly. It's a servitor, an obedient automaton created from a lobotomized human being. Sentinel turns its head to you, one of its eye sockets lighting up with two ember-like irises. Yeah, we succeeded. Carefully inspect the design of the gate cogitator. What immediately catches your eye is the strange alloy that was used as material for the machine's components, some of which are unfamiliar to you. You suspect this might be some kind of archaeotech relic. The servitor on the gate begins to move. With the screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward closer to you. Its lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than a jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metal fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on a green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that filled your head after Voitver wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, their source coiled itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. Examine the Sentinel. Sentinel looks noticeably different from the ones you are used to. Its skin covering is stitched together with copper thread, and it has metal hinges in place of the standard joints. It seems that the creators of the Sentinel did everything to ensure that the service life of this unit would be much longer than that of an ordinary automaton, or anything that could be used as a weapon. Look in hopes of finding at least something that could work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and in perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel or protruding piece of rebar in sight.
Did you forget something? I suggest you hurry.
His hand is Sentinel's maw. Sentinel jaws clamp around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. Few dark drops fall into the servo's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servo motors start up, the pumps stir into motion. The vid screen of the cogitator flickers. Several long minutes pass. The Sentinel's jaw remains closed, and you are beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath. Maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this ever happened.
High levels of caustic humus. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
You do not understand where this cry of voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the Sentinel? The cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear every word. Who is this?
Genetic code identified. Child of House von Valancius. Do you require assistance?
You hear a display. Please grunt in your mind as if the lurking enemy is sense something that it is not liking. Yes, Sentinel. Traitors threaten my life and the safety of the warden. Pain shoots to your head and subsides just as quickly. What seems an entity coiled in your consciousness does not have the ability to do you any real harm.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Gun them down!
There is still another way.
They got cooked.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Let it be known that by my will and by the true words of this document, I appoint this person to be the bearer of the warrant of trade and bestow upon them and their dynasty the great mission to be the paragon of humanity, unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first in the darkness, to unite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph over nightmares untold, to behold boldly the reins of fate, to walk steadily road of thorns.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
What madness is happening here?
Installation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel standing by.
Are you the Warrant Sentinel?
Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
I need to contact someone, preferably Theodora.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
Bookmaster, restore communication with the navigator's sanctum. I am trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all available forces and head...
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection.
I need a weapon. I am utterly defenseless.
From the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
The skull goes silent. Its relay is clicking. Second after second passes, and you realize that the servo skull will not answer you. Lead me away from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
In the dialogue, then. Alright.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Seal up the chamber again. Oh yeah, they definitely. Oh yeah, they definitely up the scene here. Yeah, get him, Abelard. He got a really cool motion there. That was awesome. They've added a bunch of new stuff since my last playthrough.
What? Whatever are you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me. What is the meaning of this?
Conrad Voigtfer is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here.
What?
He intended to take revenge on Theodora for something. Trying to reach the warrant was somehow part of that plan.
Oh, holy God, Emperor. I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. Bandmaster, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
Voigtfer openly admitted that he is the mastermind behind the mutiny.
Saints' blood! Then it is small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought his order to seal the passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels. But now I see the real reason. It was to stop the enforcers from intervening. At least you are alive, and now safe, Master. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit out this disaster. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here.
Yeah, we have a las gun. We have las guns and weaponry.
I will lead us to fortune.
Inventory. And put that on Abelard here. You had a different model. Does this model always look like this? I don't remember him having the beard. It may just be me, but I don't remember him having the beard.
I'm at your service. This wound will make a fight. That is a noticeable improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead. The lower decks are teeming with heretics, instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on. But that is not the worst of it all. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive.
How exactly did you find me?
You sent me a Vox message. Specifically, a Voxcast on the officer's frequency, which I had the good fortune to receive. You mean to say you did no such thing?
I think the Warrant Sentinel may have sent that message. It appeared when I opened the chamber.
Warrant Sentinel? The Lord Captain barely ever ventures down to the chamber, and I was at her side only once or twice when she did. And I did not see anything of the sort. The Warrant Chamber is an ancient and rather sacred mechanism that the ship's tech priests treat with the utmost reverence. I assume that whatever it is that you did, you must have activated certain processes and caused the Sentinel to awaken. But then, why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
I had heard one of her Voxcasts.
Lady Theodora's. Which one? The last one I received was about the Navigator's Sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well, and safely in charge of the ship's defense. In the meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
What can we expect to find in the Navigator's Sanctum?
During warp transit, the Sanctum is closed to all who are not involved in traversing the Empyrean, and for good reason. For the Navigator to open their third eye and perceive the way, the Sanctum must be bathed in the energies of the Immaterium. Only a Navigator can withstand such an ordeal. For the rest of us, any contact with the warp is fraught with perils such as loss of sanity, spontaneous mutations, and death.
What exactly has gone wrong with the translation?
I am no helmsman. Oh, God Emperor preserve me, Navigator. However, I've spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Gellerfield has faltered. Perhaps the Navigator was struck down by warp corruption and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak. If we get thrown off course, we will be forever lost in the warp. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live in that scenario. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet.
Well, for the Imperium and humanity, lead the way, Seneschal.
To arms, loyal sons and daughters of the God Emperor! Fight the heresy and corruption that threatens to consume our home, and with all your might, destroy those who have dared!
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward.
Onward.
To arms! You'll make a suitable sacrifice! Chaos
if not me.
Can I get both of them?
On it.
Another enemy down.
Yeah!
It's as
Get this dude back here, too.
I'll make it happen.
I will do like you reduced to dust. At your beck and call. Oh, my ears are ringing.
I serve the ruinous powers!
That was cute.
Let's make some opportunities. I won't compromise my principles.
Hmm.
Victory is I took care of this one. It will be done. Reduced to dust.
Out of my way!
Yeah, no. No, none of that noise. Thank you. Yeah, there we go.
Miscalculations are for commoners. I don't make
And we get our
mistakes.
level up.
I make profitable learning experiences.
Now we have to choose a skill. Do we want our demolition up? Do we want our awareness up? Athletics, Medicaid, or coercion? I think upping awareness is probably the best way to go for right now. But coercion would help me out in the long run. Because I need a lot of that anyway. It's all of that. You. I'm gonna give you course. Because that's gonna make you a lot tougher. Ooh. Okay, so they got some swords and we got a last pistol. Woot.
Fate and fortune favor the bold.
We can set ourselves up with that last pistol as an offhand for right now. Actually, let's give that to Abelard. Abelard needs a... Abelard could do with a ranged option until we get him a big gun. That will help him out a bit. Alright, to the Navigator Sanctum. Where after we get here, I think we will go ahead and call this episode.
I hear it, here on the threshold of the blinded guide. Doom comes from the heavens.
Master, watch your head. Idira, would it be too much to ask that you phrase your soothsayings plainly for once? That was too close.
Sorry, old man. The voices are so loud I can't even hear myself. They shriek, they sing, they... Oh, Abela, how they sing.
This is Idira Tlas, personal psyker and diviner of Her Ladyship Theodora von Valancius. Idira?
I'm not drunk, old man. I'm suffering the effects of the warp that is seeping through these walls. I see the ship's fate. To die in the waves of the immaterium, fall under the burning rays of the final dawn. And in the roaring blaze, I see a figure standing. Who is it? I have no answer.
The entity in your consciousness shrinks and crawls in deeper, its claws scraping against the walls of your mind as if the presence is trying to hide from the seer standing before you. Diviner, are you?
The voices from beyond the threshold whisper to me. Sometimes their murmurs are clear, they grant insight. Sometimes they drive me mad. But I am patient. I know how to listen and discern. But now, with this clamor around me, too many voices, too loud. And you are Von Valancius, one of Lady Theodora's heirs. Well then, we finally meet.
Officers frequency. To all who can hear me, those with a weapon in their hands are to gather on the officers' deck at once. I repeat, gather on the officers' deck at once and prepare to launch a counterattack.
That's Edelthrat. Oh, Emperor's Providence. The other heir lives as well. Quickly, we must head to...
Not so fast, old man. If we drown in the warp, Lady Theodora's heirs won't be any good to us. If Edelthrad's like me and hasn't yet surrendered his mind or body to the mercy of the warp, then he can still hold on a little longer without us.
Blast it. You're right. First, we need to deal with what is happening here.
What exactly are you doing here?
The whispers called me. The ones I could make out among all the screams and screeches. Those who are rocking this boat hit us where it hurt. They went after the navigator, our guide through the warp. Other whispers called me to the enginarium, but it was too late. I heard the cry of our master Cog, and the silence that followed.
What? You don't mean the Enginseer Prime is...
Said, without a doubt. And the voices wail, heralding countless nightmares, cackling at each soul among the hundreds that are now joining the warp. The shriek from the Navigator's sanctum was louder than the rest. And it's better that we saved the Navigator than some lever puller from a cooling module or a cook from the middle decks.
Let's see if the Navigator is well.
Oh, no. Nothing is well about him. Can't you feel the chill crawling on your skin? The eyes watching you? The warp ice has already encased the bulkheads. What follows is calamity. But we're not just going to stand here and take it, are we? The state of things in here suggests there's a navigator around. Maybe one who's crippled or at death's door, but still kicking. And since our skin hasn't peeled off our faces just yet, his third eye must be closed. At worst, it's a little roughed up. So what are we moping around for? Let's go protect that noble mutant while we're still alive.
Works with me. But I think that's going to be where we ended off for this episode. We will pick this up next time and try to get another game of try to get more of this game rolling. But until then, the adventures of Orno Roth will be continued at a later date. Hope to see you all next time as we journey through Rogue Trader in this new updated version, because Lord, have they don't stop updating this game. I've forgotten how much they actually do care about updating this game. And we'll see how much more has changed beyond the Navigator Sanctum. Hope to see you all then. This has been the Freelancer, signing off until next time. Goodbye, everyone.